This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, Grand Bahama is emerging as a big player in the regional cruise business, with arrivals showing signs of growth. While proximity to the United States could be seen as an advantage, competition in the region remains fierce for the cruise dollar. Tonight, a top executive talks about the way forward for the Caribbean in the cruise business. The Caribbean is described as the birthplace for modern cruising from North America. The region experienced significant growth in the industry over the past 20 years, from about 8 million passenger arrivals to more than 20 million expected from Florida Caribbean Cruise Association's member lines this year.
Cruise lines go to where their passengers want to go. Cruise lines go to where they can make the most money. And it's very important that destinations drive this demand, that they echo similar business practices as the cruise lines.
According to President of FCCA, Michelle Page, while the Caribbean holds the lead in the cruise industry with fun attractions, an assortment of cultures, cuisines, and historic values, those destinations now face global competition, with destinations like China growing exponentially and the Mediterranean predicting a record year. So how does the Caribbean continue to keep pace with this evolving industry?
A recent CTO study says it all. The Caribbean's ability to stimulate the required demand will be directly dependent upon its capacity to refresh and reinvent its tourism economies by effectively adapting to the ever-changing global environment, pushing the envelope, taking risks, launching innovations which consistently deliver on changing consumer expectations. Travelers are hungry to learn about the destinations, the diversity, the history, the culture, the ecology, cuisine, attractions, products that are made in the destinations, not in China.
The Cruise Association executive says the FCCA also has a role to play in helping destinations to stand out.
FCCA is about to embark on a very important project, a project to do a self-analysis for the destinations, to evaluate where the gaps are of the delivery of this uniqueness, to evaluate the marketing message for this uniqueness.
Sabrina Brown. The Ministry of Tourism promoting the beaches of Grand Bahama. Beaches have become a marketing tool for the country, and the ministry is capitalizing on this in a very special way. Italia Hall has more.
Last August, the Ministry of Tourism posted a competition on social media called the Best Beaches of the Bahamas Photo Contest, and the grand prize for the winner, a free trip to view all of the beautiful beaches on Grand Bahama. There were submissions from all over the world, but Paula Fishman from Orlando, Florida had the edge over the competitors, and she was then selected the winner. Fishman worked in the Bahamas many years ago, and she says she was ecstatic when she received the call.
I entered about 6 pictures that I thought were beautiful because I have traveled around the Bahamas a lot. So I entered my pictures, and one of them won, and I was so excited. And I won this trip. And I couldn't be happier. This is the best place in the world, in the planet, and I just love it here.
Her experience has been an adventurous one on the island, and she says this trip is one that she would never forget.
This has been amazing. I can't even tell you, the people of the Bahamas are just beautiful. They're warm and friendly and so welcoming, and our experience just even at the airport, the whole Bahamas Ministry of Tourism that met us here were just absolutely fantastic. They made me feel like royalty.
Communications manager for the Ministry of Tourism, Michaela Moss, says she's hoping that this competition would attract additional visitors to the Bahamas.
Paula's visit with her promotion of the best beaches with her photographs means that more visitors will get to see from an outsider's perspective what they consider to be the beauty of the islands of the Bahamas. And we know visitors don't only come for the beaches, we know they come for some of the culture, and so we've tried to incorporate that into the visit. We also know that people are foodies nowadays, or they're very impressed with the food of different nations, and so we've also tried to put some of our Bahamian food in on her visit. We've added a lot of conch, which she was well versed on, so the conch salad, the conch fritters, the crack conch, and a few of our beverages.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. The Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, and Minister of Immigration and Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, getting a first-hand view of preparations underway for the Junkanoo Carnival Festival on Grand Bahama. Ministers Darville and Mitchell toured the Grand Bahama Cultural Carnival Company at the Regent Center on Friday and are giving their support. Minister Darville says he is pleased that local Junkanoo groups have seized the opportunity to capitalize on the construction of costumes for the upcoming carnival.
I also want to thank our Junkanooers and all of the groups here on Grand Bahama who have come together as one unified force so that we can demonstrate to the rest of the country what is happening here on Grand Bahama and how we have embraced the whole concept of Junkanoo Carnival. I'm looking forward that in the years to come it will be a major signature event here for Grand Bahama, and it will mean critical mass flowing to the island of Grand Bahama. And for me, as Minister for Grand Bahama, it will be major injection, financial injection to our economy, which will ultimately mean jobs and also mean opportunities for individuals who are serious about Junkanoo.
Junkanoo Carnival will kick off on April 17th at Taino Beach with a performance from the 19 semi-finalists in the Carnival Song Competition. Minister Mitchell says he hopes Junkanoo Carnival becomes a signature event that will help to generate sustainable economic growth for Grand Bahama and the country.
And people will come from not only outside the country but from other islands inside the country to Grand Bahama for these signature events. So I think it's going to be very exciting. Obviously the artisans are very happy. They're engaged in productive work. And I want to congratulate all the organizers here in Grand Bahama, Ms. Moxie, her team, for getting this organized. And who knows, on the 17th, 18th, I may find my way in Freeport. I think I've got my costume already picked out. So thank you very much.
The island of Bimini completing an historic weekend. The community came together this past Saturday to host their first ever Junior Junkanoo Parade. Megan Shepard was there.
The first ever Junior Junkanoo Parade for Bimini dubbed a success. Chairman of the committee, Triska Roll, says after a few years of challenges with getting the schools on board, the committee decided to make the event a community affair.
But this time we started with a community effort where we have our committee that went into the community and asked parents, and so we filled out a consent form and got parents' consent, and that's how we started with this venue for this year. 3
groups to the parade route for 2 laps. The preschoolers, Bimini Stars, presenting Under the Sea. The primary school students, Bimini Pacers, brought back the bell-bottoms and afros, their theme, back in the day, with fashion and music. And finally, to make their debut, Bimini's Finest, their theme, coming out of Africa, brought along zebras, tigers, and cheetahs. Family members and tourists alike gathering on the park to support the historic parade and cheer on the performers. Vendors also getting an opportunity to make a profit with various items on sale, from food, sweet treats, and even games. Junior Junkanoo Coordinator in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Henry Higgins, says this is a very exciting time for the island and commends the committee for stepping up to make it possible.
This is very exciting, and we are pleased that the committee has come together and has put the parade on. Of course, our ministry, we assist by sending seed monies over and supplies as well.
Director of Culture Dr. Moxie Brown noting how important it is to continue this cultural display and pass it on to future generations.
But I want to say to the kids here, just have a really good time. You know, this is who we are as a people, and this is the expression that we really want to show others that we have something here to offer. And I always like to tell them that there's no culture anywhere in the world that's better than the Bahamas. And with Junkanoo being the branded name for the Bahamas as far as activities are concerned and festivals, says a whole lot as to who you are as a people. And we're going to keep this going forever and ever. Amen.
Awards were given out at the end of the night for Best Beller, Drummer, Dancer, and even Scraper. Roll says a special banquet will be held to honor and celebrate each participant. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Also from Bimini, dangerous drugs and ammunition seized overnight. Police say officers were on mobile patrol in Alistown around 11 p.m. when they observed a male at an apartment complex acting suspiciously. The man fled and police officers then went to the apartment where they reportedly discovered 50 foil wraps containing suspected marijuana and 8 foil wraps of suspected cocaine, a .40 live round of ammunition, cash, a Bahamian passport, and an American passport. Investigations are continuing into this incident. Meanwhile, 24-year-old Ricardo Alexander Butterfield of Bering Lane, Freeport, was arraigned before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson today on 4 counts of stealing by reason of employment. Butterfield is accused of stealing from his place of employment between December 23rd of last year and March 17th of this year. He pled not guilty to all charges and elected for all matters to be heard in the magistrate's court. He was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison in New Providence. Butterfield was represented by attorney Pleasant Bridgewater. Stay with us. There's more news after this.